about these things. People come into a village, they rape the village, 20 of them, they carry the women, they carry the children, and we cannot find them. Who does that in this day and age? It doesn't happen. A man comes, they pick up a man, they take him into a forest, they cut his head, 8 of them, they are speaking, they are videoing it, we're seeing them, and not one person said, where are we going to look for these people? There was no call for these people. They videoed it and they sent it to us and we saw it and nobody did anything. I mean, how can that happen? How can that happen? And all these herdsmen that are in the forest, all these kidnappers, the police know them. The police know where to find them. But nobody is engaging. Nobody is trying. It's a business. It's a business. People are making money from this thing. People are selling arms to these people. People are making money from security votes. People are making money from the pain and the death of innocent people. And that's why this problem is not being solved. And somehow we're looking away. Nobody who has authority is really concerned. We can solve this problem if we say together we want to solve this problem. We can solve the problem. It needed have descended to this level. So we're going to try and see what we can do and encourage our people at the federal to put in all that they can to ensure that this problem is solved. And then somebody was talking about the impeachment of the president. You know, there's clearly a law and a process and a way by which you can impeach anybody. I'm not sure that till date General Buhari has committed any impeachable offense, okay? If you are not happy with his government and you think that he has not done well, then we need to go through the process of ensuring that you can prove prima facie that this and that and the other is wrong, and then hold him accountable. So what we need to do first is to have our tally of things that we are not happy with and present them to the president and ask him why he hasn't done what he needs to do. And let us give him a chance to defend himself. And if he cannot defend himself, and if any of those things are impeachable, then by all means, let the law take its course. Okay? Donald Trump went through this impeachment process twice, and the people spoke about it, and so on and so forth. So let the law take its course. But I'm not going to be an irresponsible Nigerian calling for things when I don't have evidence and documentary evidence. The one I know about, I know. The one I don't know, I say I don't know. But this time around, what we want is for our president to show more interest, to show more energy, to show more commitment, to show more leadership in this issue of Nigeria, and to tell us exactly which direction he's taking this nation. And then let people know where we're going, and then they can take their decisions from there. I think we have successfully answered most of your questions. I think, as far as I'm concerned, restructuring for me means the ability to allow every section of Nigeria to self-determinate and develop their resources at their own pace, at their own convenience, at the way they can, and even being encouraged by the federal to make sure we can develop all these resources and everybody is happy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful afternoon. I know that if tomorrow, and by tomorrow I need to be preaching my message in church. So let me say we need to call it a day today. And then this is going to be a series of engagements. You know, the journey of 1,000 miles, the Chinese say, start with a step. You know why a lot of these things have failed in Nigeria in the past? It's only one word. A lot of the people who have tried to do this thing, most of them are not sincere. Most of them are not sincere. They use movements like this as a bargaining chip to gain publicity, to project themselves, to become this, to become that. Then they use it to negotiate, and then they give them a place in government, and this and that, and then they keep quiet. Me, there's nothing I'm looking for. Me, Olajide, there's nothing I'm looking for. I'm a satisfied man. I'm a contented man. God has helped me. I don't need much in life. I just want your life and your life and your life and your life to be better. Your life to be better. your life and your life to be better. That's what I want, and I'm sincere. And Farouk is sincere. This man called Sonny is sincere. My friend Yusuf is sincere. And Aisha, I know her. I know her father. She's Wazir Ibrahim's daughter. She's sincere. There's nothing any one of us is looking for. Nothing any one of us is looking for. We just want Nigeria to be better. Simple and that. Farouk is a politician and he likes to get office. No problem. But he's sincere about it. And he wants things to really work in Nigeria. And we must make sure that Nigeria must be this thing. Somebody is asking me, should the next president be a man? I don't care. I don't really care. My mother was the first female permanent secretary in Nigeria, and she was one of the best. I have no equivocation about that. So I am totally detribalized, I'm totally desexualized, I'm totally desexualized, or whatever you call it. I will serve very well under any woman who shows leadership. In fact, I'm angry with the women that they have not come out enough and they are not aggressive enough. They say they are 50% of the vote. What are they waiting for? Why do they allow people to continue to subject them and put them to the back? What's wrong with the woman being president? The woman in Norway or wherever, or Denmark or something like that, is a woman, 34 years old, one of these Scandinavian countries. She's only 34. Where is the place? Kosovo. She's only 34. She's doing a brilliant job. One of them, I think the woman in Australia or somewhere like that, they say she's the best president who did the best during COVID. What do I care? All I want is a venue for me to express myself, express my craft, live in peace, work hard, make my money, look after my children, preach my gospel, evangelize, and go home. I don't care who is leader of Nigeria. And we really would like the women to step up and step out. And if they can do the work, they can do the work. In my office, they say we're interviewing a woman. If she's pregnant, we won't employ her. I said, nonsense. What do you want a woman to do if she doesn't get pregnant? Pregnant or no pregnant, employ her. When she finishes having the baby, let her come and work. Why should you discriminate against a woman because she's doing what a woman should do? These are all the nonsense I have stopped in my office. We employ anybody, anyhow, as we want, as long as you are competent. That's what we are looking at. As long as you are competent, you are ready to follow the rules of our organization, and you are ready to work out, we'll employ you. A woman came for interview, she was pregnant. They said, we can't interview her. I said, why can't we interview her? What do you expect a young woman to do? You don't want her to have babies? Let her have a baby. When she has the baby, she starts work. And if she's ready to work, she starts right now. Is pregnancy a sickness? It's a natural thing. If my mother wasn't pregnant for me, will I be born? How can you discriminate against a woman because she's pregnant? Tell her she can't go on maternity leave. If she wants to go on 12 maternity leaves, she can go. She can have as many children as she desires. She should just do my work. That's all. She should just do my work. She can work at home, she can work offline. And I'll pay her. And I'll give her maternity leave to look after the children and bring up the children very well. Why should we discriminate? Why? I am totally against any form of discrimination. And we must make sure that Nigeria becomes a better place. We must talk to ourselves. You must go back to your homes and talk to your home. Talk to your husband, talk to your wife, talk to your children. You must go to your village, talk to your cousins, talk to your uncles, talk to your aunties.